Alright, big surprise. Last war of the season. This is Season 27, War number 6 against L, or Legion. And what would usually be the halfway point is now the final war of the season. So let's check out our opponents. Legion, they finished in the Masters bracket last season. Alliance prestige of 11,963, which is in line with where our alliance lies. So this looked like a pretty fair matchup going into it, I'd say. We're going to check out the map and scout it out. And we're going Path 6 in Section 1, so we're taking on the SpiderHam and the Mysterio up first. Not too bad. I think I can handle both those fights with ease. And then in Section 2, we're going to jump onto Path 3 again. You see that Guillotine 2099 up there. She's our only opponent in Section 2. And then we're going to check out the mini-bosses, the Magneto boss. Got a MODOK up there, a Green Goblin, Nova, Mojo, Professor X. Alright, nothing too out of the ordinary here. I think that's all pretty common for a defensive placement. So let's go ahead and hop on in here, check out the attack team today. We're bringing in one of my favorite trio of attackers, I'd say. And it's going to be familiar. It's nothing too new from what has transpired this season. We're going to bring Archangel, obvious beast. If he can bleed and poison, he's going to take care of it. Magneto, one of my favorite champions in the game. And another Magneto for the guidance pre-fights. So, full mutant team today. Totally thrilled. Absolutely love these guys. All solid attackers, some of my favorites to play. So, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and end this season on a positive note. We have 4 fights today, including a mini-boss takedown. And we are dealing with the high ground defensive global again, which has become the meta for Alliance War defense tactics, I think. You can see the boost we have thrown on for this first section here. We're going to take on the SpiderHam. He's a 6-star at rank 3. And this is the Aggression Fury Strike Back node. He's not a high ground defender. I don't get the placement. I think there are champions who can be well utilized on this node. SpiderHam really isn't one of them. There's no point in putting him on the strike back node because you don't want to throw specials against him anyway, so I don't quite understand it. We're getting really good RNG with Archangel to start the fight. We've already got 4 bleeds, 1 neuro. This heavy attack's going to stack up to 4, and now we are just absolutely cruising. We've got 7 on him, and we don't need to hit him again. We are done here. Melt him down. He's got a really small health pool. He's really not a challenging defender. Archangel is a perfect answer for him. We get the full attack bonus. He never ever procced one of the Aggression Furies. Very simple, very straightforward fight. And that's going to move us on to this Mysterio fight. And initially, I really didn't think much of this placement. I have Magneto. Mysterio is a metal defender. Really no threat when you're dealing with a metal defender when you use Magneto. But he is a 6-star at rank 3, and he's on the Power Focus 1 Power Alternator node. And I was actually a little bit worried the more I thought about this fight and this placement, because I think this is actually really strong placement for Mysterio, because you can get into this cycle where you really don't want to hit him, because if he's throwing the special ones repeatedly, which he will because of Power Focus 1, you get into this weird cycle where you can't hit him because the damage will be reflected, and then Power Alternator may keep stealing your power and giving it back to him. And he may get into this endless loop of recycling special ones on you. So the goal was just to not let that happen. So we're going to throw a special attack here. We're not going to try to build 3 bars of power because of Power Alternator. It doesn't let us. Right here he throws the special one, and this isn't what I wanted. Fortunately, I don't get backed up too far because he didn't have that many chemical gases when he threw the special one. But we do not want him to keep throwing those, so we're just going to keep throwing our specials to make sure that the Power Alternator is not stealing our power. He throws another special one right here, though, and we're in good position. This fight's almost over, but his damage reflection state was still up, so I couldn't hit him. Right here, we're going to go back in. We don't want him to throw a special. I went right into a block, but he threw it, and now we are backed into a corner, and we cannot hit him, and Power Alternator just stole our power. So that is the exact worst scenario with this fight. Fortunately, I'm able to get out of my corner by hitting into his block, retaliate a little bit. I did take some damage reflection, you saw, because I had to hit into him while his reflection state was still up. Fortunately, we get the comeback there, and we finish the fight with relative ease, but it did get a little sketchy for me there for a little bit. 32 hits, we get the full attack bonus, and we move on though. So we will go ahead and progress right into Section 2, and at this point, most of the map was cleared, so our battle group had pretty much finished off both sections, just the mini bosses left, and this fight. So it's a Guillotine 2099, she's on the boost buff, enhanced armor up, Chitinous Thorns, God, I really gotta look how to pronounce that. She's a 6-star at rank 3, obviously this is a Magneto fight. We've got a point in Coagulate, so we're taking 0 damage from bleeds. Don't have to worry about that. We don't have to worry about missing her. She's magnetized, we cannot miss or be auto-blocked while we are fighting a magnetized opponent. So this is going to be a pretty standard Magneto fight. Just parry and heavy, build these prowess. The heavy attack gets that nice burst of energy damage. I think a lot of people are under the impression that Magneto is kind of a boring champion because you just parry and heavy, and it's true. I mean, it's not the most exciting playstyle, but his heavy attacks actually build a secondary purpose to those Furies, I think, and it's that energy damage. It's a huge burst of energy damage that he deals with that heavy attack that you just do not get from regular attacks, from the regular combo. So his heavy attack, I think, is kind of underrated. You're dealing a lot of extra damage, but we do get to our special 3. We have like 30-something prowess, and that's going to end the fight, so obviously the heavy attacks do a lot, but the prowess is just too much, and we get the full attack bonus, and it only took us 18 hits against that robot. Very easy matchup for Magneto, and we are going to cruise right on through to the boss island, where we have our last fight of the war and our last fight of the Alliance War season, apparently. And it's this Professor X. He's a 6-star at rank 3 again, so another good defender. We're going to throw on the Magneto Guidance pre-fight boost here, so we don't have to deal with the Limber node. That's pretty much the main reason. We also placed a few Guidance pre-fights for some of our homies as well, but we're going to make sure it applied. It did. Professor X is a high ground defender, so we do have to deal with that. He's on the best defense, brute force, limber node, spry. Like I said, limber is eliminated. He's not going to evade us. We don't have to worry about the spry node. The only thing we have to worry about here is the degen damage from brute force if it ever gets applied to us. So we just have to make sure we hit him on a regular basis. But the strategy is pretty obvious. If we're using Archangel, it's just parry and heavy. And it's going to work out perfectly because you always want to have the Professor coming at you with a medium attack, so the heavy attack works perfectly. We've already stacked 5 neurotoxins, and I cannot believe I got tagged by that special. God, so annoying. You notice something else here. I think the neurotoxins are shutting down the falter mechanic because we hadn't been faltered once when we should have been. So I was a little surprised it wasn't happening. Obviously, not a big deal. We had the degen on us there for a second, and we smack him to finish off the fight. Professor X has a very low health pool as well, but really clean way to finish the season with a very nice fight. 21 hits, full attack bonus achieved, great RNG, and that's going to clean it up. So we'll check out our battle group here. Here's the comparison. You can see it was a pretty close matchup between the battle groups. We died 4 times, they died 3 at this point, and I believe that was the end result as well. So we lost our battle group just by 1 attack bonus, but pretty close overall. Not our best performance by BG3 for the season, but hey, what are you going to do? We did end up losing the war, so Legion got us. We actually left a node unexplored because we experienced a bit of a glitch, so a nice kabam failure there to end the season. It took one of our guys to the wrong node, and we could not go back, obviously, so we left a defender remaining. We left the map unexplored. It wouldn't have mattered. They absolutely spanked us. We died 17 times this war. They only died 7, so credit to them for keeping it low deaths, but man, our alliance really struggled in this war. I don't know what happened here. This was by far our worst performance of the season. Going into it, we hadn't died more than, like, I think 10 or 11 times. in our previous wars. So to have 17 deaths is kind of an anomaly for us. But again, credit to Legion. Obviously, they died very few times, and we had some mistakes along the way, so they get the credit for the win. But that does end the season. You can see where we ranked. We are ranked Platinum 1 in rank 18, which is good enough to finish in Platinum for the season, because that is where the war season will end. So we achieved our goal of Platinum 1. That's what we were shooting for after finishing Platinum 2 last season. It doesn't feel like a great way to get it, because it ended after only 6 wars, but in those 6 wars we were 4-2, so we had a pretty good record, and we played really well. I think this was a good season for us, even though it was cut short. But hey, we'll take it, and we'll get some nice rewards for half the work, so no objections here. Be sure to tune in and check out the crystal openings following this video, and we'll catch you in that one. See ya.